the payoff pitch. This one hit high. A pop fly that Mickey Gasper, the catcher, but then Kyle Datris calls him off on the last second, and Datris completes the third out in foul territory of the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 runs come through for the Bourne Braves. They are now up 13-7 on the Brewster Whitecaps. We played 6 innings here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Game 2 of the Cape League Championship Series on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Okay, we welcome you back to Bourne. It's my understanding that our live stream is back up for the minute, so we welcome you back. For everybody who's tuning in, we're starting the top of the 7th, and the Whitecaps are trailing the Bourne Braves by a score of 13-7. It was an 8-run 5th inning. That did most of the damage for Bourne in the 5th, and Datris will lead things off for Brewster. The first pitch to Datris is off the mark from Chad Linsman, who is the new hurler for the Bourne Braves. He's a right-hander out of the University of Nebraska. The pitch to Datris is a hard ground ball to third base, fielded over there by Triolo. He throws across the diamond for the out. So Datris, a couple of pitches into his at-bat, is retired 5-3. That's out number 1 of the top of inning number 6. Chandler Taylor now digging in for the Brewster Whitecaps. So far for Taylor today is 1 for 3. Does have a ribby, a sacrifice fly. That came in the 5th inning, part of a back-to-back string of sacrifice flies. At the time, it gave Brewster, as the pitch to Chandler Taylor is cut on and missed, took a big hack at that one, did the man from Alabama, but came up empty, so the count is 0-1. Taylor, a lefty against the righty Linsman. Linsman stares in. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's in there for a called strike on a breaking ball. Well-located off-speed pitch there from Linsman. So it's 0-2 early on Chandler Taylor, quickly falling behind in the count. Waiting on an 0-2 pitch to the left-hander. Here it comes. It misses inside. And so the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Linsman, a rising junior, originally from Altoona, Pennsylvania, was one of the closers that the Cornhuskers had on their team. Lost some opportunities to Luis Alvarado, who was a teammate at Bourne for a lot of this season. 1-2 pitch. It's an off-speed pitch, misses low. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Chandler Taylor against Linsman. On this gloomy night here in Bourne. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's fouled right off of the mask of the catcher, Susi, who looks to be all right. That one took a big thump and bounded over against the screen behind home plate. Still 2 on Taylor. Here comes the pitch to a lefty. Foul back to the fastball up above the zone. And Taylor just took a rip at it, just barely got a piece, so he will reset on deck for the Whitecaps. Gahagan. It's 13-7. Brewster is trailing the Bourne Braves by 6 runs on the top of inning number 7 to Chandler Taylor. Is hit high in the air to right field, not deep enough though. The right fielder, the Witherspoon makes the catch. 2 outs.
Well, Brewster, you can just feel the energy of this Brewster team just kind of waning here as this was a blow. The 8-run inning was just a complete blow to Brewster, and you can just kind of feel that lack of energy with the Whitecaps right now. But as you mentioned before, 5 runs, it's not impossible for the Whitecaps to do this, and there's plenty of baseball left.
Here is Zach Gahagan. The pitch to the righty, bunted, foul behind the plate. Gahagan trying to catch the Bourne Braves infield sleeping, trying to lay down the bunt, so it's 0-1. Gahagan so far in this day, no hits, no reach base for him, but does have a sacrifice fly, just like the one Taylor had. That sac fly at the time made it 7-3 Whitecaps. Here is the pitch to the righty. He half swings at it, and he went around, so it's 0-2. 7-3 Brewster at the end of 4.5, halfway through the regulation ball game, and then since then it's been 10 unanswered for the Braves, 8 in the 5th and a pair in the bottom of the 6th inning as well. Whitecaps have already used 4 pitchers. Reveno is the pitcher of record in this ball game. The 0-2 pitch just misses off the outside corner to make the count 1-2 on the UNC Tar Heels. Zach Gahagan. Infante is on deck for the Whitecaps if Gahagan can find his way on base. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Another foul right side. Just staying alive there is Gahagan, who is in at first base in this ball game. Way back when it was Kraus, the lefty starter for Bourne, that was starting things off on the mound for the Braves. And that's why Gahagan is in as opposed to Darius Hill, who was occupying the 7 slot yesterday for the Whitecaps. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Gahagan. Cut on and missed for strike 3. So a terrific 1-2-3 inning from Chad Linsman, punctuating it with the strikeout of Zach Gahagan. And the Whitecaps go down in order here in the top of the 7th. Time to stretch here in Bourne at the end of 6.5, 13-7 Braves. You're listening to the Cape Cod League Championship Series on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Back in Bourne, the Whitecaps are trailing 13-7. We're starting the bottom of the 7th inning here between Brewster and Bourne. The Braves trying to level this league championship series at a game apiece. Susie, Radzowicz, Witherspoon, the three due up against Drew Revenue, who remains on the hill for Brewster. The pitch from the right-hander misses outside, so it's 0-1 on Zach Susie. Susie has reached base twice in this game, singled in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, just before that inning ended. 1-0 pitch is hit hard on the ground, left side. It's scooped up by the shortstop Graffinino and throws to first base for the out. And the leadoff man is retired for the Bourne Braves. That's the first time that's happened since the 4th inning. So Susie is retired 6-3, and now it's Kevin Radzowicz's turn to come up and take a swing at it for the Braves. I mean, it's hard to find a Bourne Braves player that hasn't had a great day offensively. 13 runs on 15 hits for the Braves in this game. Here comes to the righty Radzowicz. It's hit high in the air, left field. Is moving to his right, hustling over, makes the catch on the run. A terrific play from Marty Costas, moving to his right. Great reflexes to go after that baseball. And so Radzowicz is now 0 for his last 2 in this ball game. After he hit it hard to left field, but Costas came down with it. So it's now Witherspoon's turn. Witherspoon has reached base 3 times out of 4 that he's reached the plate. Last time up he walked and scored in the 6th inning. Witherspoon is a left-handed hitter against the righty Revenue. Here comes the pitch to Witherspoon. It misses outside. The count is 1-0. Well, this is the territory of the ball game where you know, as a Whitecaps fan or a follower of the team, here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's fouled back to the screen to make it 1-1, where you start to think about that ball game in Harwich, that game where Marty Costas had the 3-run home run. Brewster was trailing 10-2 at the 7th inning stretch of that game and wound up coming all the way back to get the win in 8 innings by a final score of 11-10. That was their biggest comeback of the year. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Witherspoon. It misses outside, so it's 2-1 now on Grant. And not saying it's going to take that big of an effort here for the Whitecaps to win this game, but it would certainly have to be close, especially considering the mental stuff with giving up 10 unanswered runs. The 2-1 pitch misses down and in to the lefty swinging Grant Witherspoon. This is the most that Brewster has given up. They've given up 12 runs a couple of times this year, but not 13. That game in Harwich was back on July 16th. The pitch is fouled back to the screen, so the count is full now on Grant Witherspoon. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 13-7, bottom 7th, Bourne on top. Witherspoon takes a minute as Revenue is going to take some time to get some clay out of his cleats. That's been an issue for all the pitchers that we've seen in this ball game, and we've seen quite a few. We've seen 8, counting Drew Revenue for both teams combined. And with the wet weather, the wet field, the mound is just very muddy and kind of cakes on the pitcher's cleats. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. And Witherspoon works his 2nd walk in as many plate appearances, so Bourne has a 2-out base runner. And so with that plate appearance, that prevents this inning from being a 1-2-3 frame. Paulie Milto, way back in the 1st inning, got a 1-2-3 inning. Williams, Lynn, and Triolo being retired in order, and since then, Bourne has sent at least 1 hitter up to the plate. In every frame of this ball game, they've only scored in 3 of them, 3 in the 3rd, 8 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. It's been plenty. Here comes the shortstop, Fitzgerald. Swings and loops one into right field for a base hit. That one dropped in the infield dirt before rolling in front of the right fielder, Chandler Taylor, and now hustling into third base and getting there is Grant Witherspoon. So a little single off the end of the bat from Tyler Fitzgerald, just kind of golfed it. Well, it was a pretty good pitch from Drew Revenue, but a 2-out rally here for the Braves, 1st and 3rd.
And once again, the Braves have a runner 90 feet away. They've not only been hitting the ball well, but running the bases well too, just working everything they can to try to get those runners through, and it's been paying off a lot for the Bourne Braves, as the score tells.
So here comes Andy Atwood. Atwood is the 9-hitter in the Braves lineup, but has not been playing like one. 2 singles and 2 ribbies today. Pair of runs scored as well for the left fielder. The pitch to the righty. Misses high and tight. Some chin music for Atwood. Had to lean a bit out of the way. That opening fastball from Drew Revenue. Now let's see if he decides to go low and away after pushing him back a little bit. Witherspoon on third. Fitzgerald on first. 2 men out. Bottom 7. 13-7 Braves. 1-0 pitch. Up high. 2-0. So not going down and away with that one, Revenue, or at least that's not how it ended up. Communicating with the catcher, Gasper. Revenue takes a deep breath. 2-0 is the count. He'll check the runner at first base. Now he comes set. Here's the pitch. It's low, 3-0. And for Revenue, right now it doesn't look like there's any action in the pen for Brewster. Now obviously it ain't over till it's over, but for the Brewster Whitecaps, you kind of have to think about how this would affect a potential winner-take-all game tomorrow and what their pitching options would look like. Here comes the 3-0 pitch from Revenue. It is in there for a called strike one to make it 3-1. Revenue, you would have to think, is going to be asked to take one for the team and try and finish this ball game out. And then looking ahead, Zach Schneider has been used in back-to-back games, so he's probably not available. Jamie Shevchik has explicitly said that Sam Bordner is going to be available if there is a game tomorrow. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. It misses inside, ball 4. Bases are loaded. The real question for Brewster is who's going to be the starter tomorrow. We don't have the answer to that question, but both of these teams are kind of digging deep for their starting pitching. And what would be a thrilling game would be at Stony Brook Field. If there is a Game 3, it's Stony Brook Field tomorrow. We'll have our stream. It's solid as a rock when we're at home, so we'll have that stream up there for you. And it'll start at 4 p.m. We'll be on the air at 4:45, 3:45. But Brewster used 5 pitchers yesterday. I mean, Losey, Schneider, Bordner, McDonald, and Miller all got into the ball game. Revenue is pitching today along with Sear, Milto, and Schneider again. Here's the pitch to the leadoff hitter, Grant Williams. He takes a strike, counts 0-1. The bases are full of Braves here in the bottom of the 7th. Home team ahead 13-7 here in Bourne.
And using all those pitchers, it doesn't just hurt your bullpen in terms of who can come in, but it also gives the Bourne Braves a chance to look at all your pitchers, which means you don't really have a surprise attack, which can hurt the Brewster Whitecaps.
That's a great point. The 0-1 pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Gasper, so the count is 0-2. The hurlers that Brewster hasn't used in this series, Molatier would be there, but he has been used earlier a few days ago. Connor McNamara went 6 innings earlier in that Game 3 against Orleans, so he probably wouldn't be available. Matthew Beck is another guy, but Joe Demers, here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. So Drew Revenue gets out of the jam, and the Bourne Braves do not score in the bottom of inning number 7. A pair of walks and a single, but they leave the bases loaded. No runs, 1 hit, 3 left for Bourne in the bottom of inning number 7. At the end of 7 innings of play, the Whitecaps trail Bourne 13-7. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts. Close to the Cape Cod Canal, you can almost see the Bourne Bridge from here if it was, when it's not nighttime as it is right now. Julian Fonte will come up to bat for the Brewster Whitecaps, hitting from the right side. It looks like it won't be Graffinino that follows him to the batter's box, as Connor Smith is warming up in the on-deck circle. Infante, first pitch swinging, nubs one softly left side. Linsman grabs at the pitcher. He throws to first base in time for the out. Nice job by Linsman to charge that baseball as it kind of got bogged down in the wet grass, and Infante is retired 1-3. So that is 6 straight retired now by Bourne Braves pitching here in this ball game, and Connor Smith will come up and hit for Graffinino.
And Christian Molfetta is also on deck, which makes me think he will be at second for Nick Dunn. Seems like Jamie Shevchik is trying to get in some reserves in this game, which the Whitecaps are down 5 runs in.
Yes, 13-7 here in this ball game, top of the 8th, and you wonder, you know, that game versus Harwich, when Brewster had that improbable comeback, they sent in the second unit in that game as well. Here comes the pitch to the righty Smith, and it misses down and in. I believe this is Connor Smith's first appearance of the playoffs at the plate. Can't verify here. Our stats are a bit waterlogged with the wet weather here today. Waiting on a 1-0 to Smith. Here it comes. It skips in front of him for ball number 2. So a nice take by Smith. In any case, Smith in the regular season for the Whitecaps hit .233, .305 on base percentage, no home runs and 4 ribbies. Has not had an extra base hit all season, and now it looks like play has been stopped. Home plate ump Steve Williams has gone out to the mound, and Linsman is there, and Harvey Shapiro is coming in. Doesn't look like there's anybody warming in Bourne's pen, so this looks like an unexpected conference at the mound. Not sure what this could be about. Linsman is talking to Harvey Shapiro and home plate umpire Steve Williams. The entire infield is huddled up, and Smith is waiting over by the on-deck circle with Molfetta. 2-0 is the count on Connor Smith. We're in the top of inning number 8 here in Bourne. There is now some action in the Braves pen now that I whip out the binos here. Just got going. A righty is warming in the pen for the Bourne Braves right now. They're still checking up on Linsman. I think they're going to have him throw a practice pitch or two. They are going to have him throw a few practice pitches to Susie. Looks like Nick Johnson is the pitcher that's warming for Bourne.
And it looks like they're potentially going to call the bullpen as Harvey Shapiro is looking over there. And Linsman has all but stepped off the mound and given the ball away. So, yes, it's going to be a new hurler.
All right, and he will have as long as he needs to warm up for the typical reason that one would be given as long as they need to warm up. At the end of, well, not at the end of anything, Connor Smith's got a 2-0 count, and it's going to be a win-win for the new pitcher, Johnson. But in any case, we'll be back right after this. It's a 2-0 count on Smith. There's 1 out, and there's nobody on in the top of the 8th. Brewster trails Bourne 13-7 on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Island, Nick Johnson.
Okay, we are back in Bourne. It is indeed Nick Johnson, the Rhode Island Ram, who has been called upon to relieve Linsman in the middle of a count and being given as long as he needs to warm up. Connor Smith is ahead in the count 2-0, so this is a win-win for Johnson. Here comes the pitch to the right-hander. It's in there for a called strike, makes it 2-1. If it is a walk or a hit, it's charged to Linsman. If it's an out or a strikeout, then it's charged to Johnson. He can't lose. 2-1 pitch. In there for a called strike at the knees. And the count is 2-2. We are in the top of the 8th inning here in Bourne, and the Whitecaps are trailing the Bourne Braves 13-7. The pitch to Connor Smith is fouled away. That was a breaking ball that Johnson just looked like he left up. And Smith faced it, fouled it back. So the count is 2 strikes on Connor Smith. Johnson, this is his first appearance of the playoffs for Bourne. The 2-2 pitch misses down and away, makes the count 3. In the regular season, Johnson made 10 appearances. They were all out of the pen, had an ERA of 3.56. Struck out 20 in 17 2/3 innings, only walked 7. 3-2 pitch is a looper toward the right side, coming in and making the plays to second baseman Williams. A few steps toward the right of where he was positioned in straightaway second base. So that's the second out, and that will be charged. That will be credited to Nick Johnson.
And it also looks like Justin Coons is coming in to hit for Mickey Gasper, so kind of a platoon switch for Jamie Shevchik, as I'm assuming Coons, with the gear he's got on, he's wearing the catching gear basically right now, so I am assuming he's coming in for Mickey Gasper also behind the plate.
Yeah, I guess Coons has that on in case Malfetta, who is pinch hitting for Dunn, as the pitch to Malfetta is cut on and missed, as Johnson blew a fastball by him. If Malfetta gets out, then Coons can just put on the chest protector and the helmet and get to warming up Reveno as soon as he can. So Malfetta comes in for Dunn. 0-1 pitch misses down and away. Malfetta does have one start in these playoffs for the Brewster Whitecaps. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It is in there for a called strike, a slow breaking ball, so the count is 1-2. That start from Malfetta came in Game 1 against the Firebirds. He struck out a couple of times. 1-2 pitch is fouled away right side. That one whizzes over the dugout, and looks like everybody's all right out there, though a few kids are going out to chase after the souvenir. 1-2 the count on Malfetta. 13-7, Bourne on top here in game number 2 of this 3-game Cape League Championship Series. Bourne looking to even this series up and send us to a winner-take-all Game 3 in Brewster. 1-2 pitch misses outside, so it's 2-2. Malfetta, the Stanford product, come a long way since the opening dinner for the Brewster Whitecaps, where he was the last one to show up, wasn't wearing a uniform, had just gotten off the flight from California. The 2-2 pitch is in there for a called strike 3. Caught looking is Malfetta, so with 2 different pitchers, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Brewster Whitecaps. They have not gotten a base runner on since there was 1 man out in the 6th inning. That was when Gasper was hit with that pitch. At the end of 7.5 innings of play, Bourne leads Brewster 13-7. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. If he's thinking a little bit about that possibility of the cycle that is in front of him for the man from Houston, originally from Austin, Texas. Has only 1 homer on the Cape this year. 3-2 pitch in there, called strike 3, inside corner. Triolo wasn't a fan of the call, kind of stood there shifting his weight, but will head back to the dugout. Not a ton to complain about with a 13-7 advantage. Back-to-back strikeouts for Triolo, though. And now it's Jamison Hanna's turn. That's strikeout number 3 for Reveno. 2 gone in the 8th. Jamison Hanna has had an excellent day at the plate as well. In fact, he's a triple from the cycle. Has a home run, an infield single, and a double. So still cycle watch here. The pitch to Hanna is fouled back to the screen. And so the count is 0-1. That's been that kind of game for the Bourne Braves to have 2 candidates for the cycle. Back-to-back hitters. Hanna, the man from Dallas Baptist University, does have 1 triple this game. Waiting on an 0-1 pitch. Revenue takes it. And now Hannah's going to call for time. So we'll wait a bit longer for the 0-1 pitch. And now Hannah back in. Revenue is ready. Here comes the pitch. Fouled away, left side. So Hannah's behind the count. No balls and 2 strikes. If you're wondering, or 0-2 the count on Hannah. Lefty hitter against the righty Drew Revenue, who's taking one for the team right now. No one warming. 0-2 pitch, misses low, 1-2. That was a good pitch. I think misses maybe an improper characterization of it, trying to see if they could get Hannah to chase perhaps. Couldn't do it. Laid it off. 1-2 is the count on Jamison Hannah. Weather right now is probably as good as it's been all night. Pretty cool, but the mist has almost subsided. 1-2. Misses low in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jamison Hannah. This game started out with this drizzle that just laid a sheet of water over the whole field. It was a tough day for the grounds crew, but they did an excellent job after a rainy morning. 2-2 is the count. Of course, here on the Cape, you think, well, they put the tarp on the field. They don't have tarps here on the Cape. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Hannah. It misses outside, so it's 3-2. At Brewster, they've got a tarp for the mound and for the circle surrounding home plate. But that's it. And even that is not something that every team on the Cape has. So certainly heading into the possible Game 3 tomorrow, if Brewster is unable to rally from the 6-run deficit in the 9th, the field condition could still be a story there at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. Waiting on a payoff pitch to Hannah. Here it comes. It's hit on the ground, right back to Revenue. It whacks off his foot. He recovers, barehands it, throws to first. A high throw in time for the out. And Drew Revenue hustles into the Whitecaps dugout. He looks all right. That was a terrific play from the hurler. And so it's a 1-2-3 inning. The first 1-2-3 inning from the Bourne Braves offense since the first inning of play here tonight. At the end of 8, the Whitecaps ready to see if they have a rally in their bones. They trail 13-7 as we go to the 9th. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Straight for Johnson on the mound. And it's now Darius Hill who will grab a bat for the first time in this ball game. Darius Hill, of course, has kind of carved out a role as a full-time DH for the Whitecaps this postseason. The first pitch to him misses down and away to a lefty hitter, makes the count 1-0. The fact that he is a lefty was the reason why most likely he was out of a lineup tonight. Lefty starter for Bourne. 1-0 pitch. Is it high in the air to left field? Racing over is a left fielder, Andy Atwood, toward the foul line, toward the corner. He makes the catch on the run. A terrific catch by Andy Atwood. Had to support himself against the wall in foul territory out in the left field corner after he came down with that baseball. Made it with about a step or two left before he reached the foul line, made that catch. And so the Whitecaps are down to their final out here in the 9th inning. And it'll be Hunter Bishop to try and keep this game going. Bishop, another left-handed hitter against the righty Johnson. It's 13-7 is the score. Bourne on top. 9th inning of play here at Doran Park in Game 2. The pitch is fouled back to the screen. That was over the plate. Bishop taking a step around the batter's box to collect himself. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Bishop. Cut on and missed strike number 2. 0-2 is the count. Make sure to stick around after the ball game is over. We'll have the Whitecaps postgame show for you. Have interviews with the players of the game and Coach Jamie Shevchik as well. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Just got a piece. It whacked off of his leg after hitting the bottom part of the barrel. And so the count, as aforementioned, is 0-2 on Hunter Bishop. Bishop so far in this ball game today has 3 strikeouts that bookend a single and a run scored in the 5th inning, when this game looked a lot different in the top of the 5th. Here comes the 0-2 to the lefty Bishop. Cut on and miss strike 3, and the Bourne Braves have leveled this series at a game apiece. We will be back in Brewster tomorrow at 4 o'clock, live from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. They're saying 3 o'clock on the PA. I don't know if they're right. We'll double check that.
Have a great night, and please drive home safely.
It's hard to ignore the PA here at Bourne. Doran Park, one of the more raucous venues on the Cape. In any case, Maura, this is a tough loss for the Brewster Whitecaps, coming off a nail-biter and a thrilling win in game number 1. And it's going to come down to a winner-take-all game 3.
Absolutely, and I think that this is an energy-draining loss because the Whitecaps had a 7-3 lead at one point in this game. Yes, it was early in the game, but it's a pretty convincing lead, especially against a Bourne team that struggled to score yesterday against the Whitecaps till the very end. So this can be energy draining because 8 runs in 1 inning, that's a lot, and you throw out 3 pitches. You were up. The championship was just innings away from being in your grasp, and now it's do or die once again for the Whitecaps tomorrow. They been in situations before, though, something that I will point out that the Bourne Braves have never been in before. They've never played a game 3 in the playoffs so far.
It is 3 o'clock according to Point Streak, our Bible, which would go against the earlier playoff games we've seen against Stony Brook Field. I guess they figured if they see another extra inning game, no dark problems. It's a Sunday, folks can get to the park. So 3 o'clock. We're on the air at 2:45. All right, Daniel Bees is going to start for Bourne tomorrow. What is one thing that Brewster can take away from this ball game, Maura? We'll talk about that in the postgame show. We got to take a break. Postgame show is coming up after this. Jamie Shevchik will be with Aiden. Player of the game will be with Aiden. We'll talk a little bit more about tomorrow's game. Whitecaps Radio Network. Don't go anywhere. The Whitecaps postgame show is coming up right after this.
That was huge for us. It's huge for the momentum into tomorrow.
Only on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. All right, we welcome you back to Doran Park. Whitecaps postgame show is coming at you. Well, this game started off promising for Brewster, and one of the reasons why was Nick Dunn, a presence at the top of the lineup for the Whitecaps, finished this game with 3 RBI, and he's with Aiden Doyle.
sticking to my approach and just waiting for a pitch I could drive.
You had a chance to close out the Cape League Championship today. You were leading early, but the team gave up 8 runs in the 5th inning. It's a tough way to lose a game, but how does this team bounce back tomorrow?
It's tough, but, we're in the championship for a reason. There's 3 games, and you just got to come back tomorrow and, play like we do.
This team's overcome before. Obviously, you're not unfamiliar with do-or-die game 3s. How much more confidence or comfort does it give you and your teammates that you've done this before? You've won a game 3 in a do-or-die situation.
It definitely helps. We know that we still got a good chance to come back tomorrow and just play well.
All right, thanks, Nick.
All right, thank you so much, Aiden Doyle. Sorry for the blip in the.
Want to win this thing, and it's going to be a great story win. But I think these guys just have to come tomorrow. They got to be ready to play. They've got to forget about this day right here. I know when I walk out of here right now, I'm going to forget about this and just concentrate on tomorrow, and that's what they need to do too.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Hey, and that's a pretty good attitude there from Jamie Shevchik, seeming pretty confident, saying when referring to the game tomorrow, with the confidence of a manager that knows his club. And Mora, it's funny, way back at the end of the game in Orleans, I remember you asked me what can the Whitecaps do heading into the series as a whole. And this is the thing, thanks to the Eastern Division winning the All-Star game in Wareham back in late July, Brewster has the home field advantage in this series. And now, like Jamie Shevchik said, if they're able to just put this loss behind them, they can go back to their home field. And if they're able to get 2 wins at home, they will be champions.
And they've played well at home in the playoffs. They haven't lost there, to be frank, or that's a fact. They haven't lost there. And so I think for the Whitecaps, it's going to be big in front of what I'm going to assume is a very big home crowd. It's supposed to be very nice out, so they're going to have a lot of fans. And for Brewster, they know they can beat them. They've done it before. They were beating them for a vast majority of this game, so it's all about focusing in, honing in tomorrow. It really depends on what goes on the mound as well, but they know the offense is there, so it's putting the pieces together, and Brewster will come home with a championship, as Jamie Shevchik so frankly put it.
All right, and again, 3 o'clock is the first pitch in Brewster. 3 p.m. tomorrow. We're on the air at 6:45, and we will see you then. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Whitecaps fall 13-7. I'm Carter Woodeel, speaking for Aiden Doyle, Morris Sheridan, and our entire crew here at Doran Park. Winner take all game 3 with the championship on the line. There's nothing more exciting than that. We've got it tomorrow on the Whitecaps Radio Network, and we'll see you then.